It's your boy, Jeff Jones.
You know me, it's the upset specialist, Thomas Boykin.
Yeah, always and forever who? Mr. Mike Jones.
And this is 234 Sports Talk. Fellas, let's talk about it. Let's
Let's
talk
get
about
it.
it. Got some guests on today. My man Poole with us, one of our Army friends. My man Mike Council with us, another Army friend.
Yes,
And
sir.
Mr. Boykin's brother, Mr. Rod Boykin, is in the house.
Yes,
Got
sir.
us on 234 Sports Talk today. Fellas, we glad to have y'all, man.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, fellas. Let's look at this college football portal. A lot of activity going on. A lot of activity going on. A lot of players have made their decisions that they want to get in the portal, want to switch, go to other teams. Fellas, when we look at this college portal, this college transfer portal, what do you guys think about it? Is it good for college? Is it bad for college? Is it good for the players? Bad for the players? What do you guys think about this? Let me get your take on it.
I think I go ahead and speak on it real quick, Jeff. I think it's good for the players, but also it's kind of bad. The reason I say that, let me tell you why I say that, is because it took away from back in the day. It was just straight recruiting, and now it's just the transfer portal, the NIL. Everybody's trying to get in where they fit in, trying to get paid. So it's just like, okay, you know what? I want to go over here to Georgia now because they winning, or I'm not getting enough playing time, or I'm a skilled player. I only got a year left, so I want to get to a good team so I can, show up for the NFL and everybody can look at me and be like, man, he made it. He's on a good team. That's my take on it.
So I'm a guest too. I'm gonna go again. Being I got a radio, marketing, broadcasting background. I agree totally with what you're saying, but you have to think you have to follow the money. Now I was doing a little research on it, and there are a lot of quarterbacks that's in that portal. Now I'm thinking it's a good thing for them because they're taking NIL money with them, i.e. Kyle McCord, the Ohio State's Thomas, that's transferred, right? He's taking $1 million NIL deal with him. I just checked Trevor Etienne. His little brother is going to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? He's taking NIL money with him. So my take on it is for the athlete. I think it's going to bring, what do they call it? Transparency, not transparency. It's going to bring a balance to it. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's a benefit to a lot of these schools getting kids out the transfer portal. But I agree with Corey P. when I say, yeah, I got this much time to shine, so I'm going to go to a winning program. But at the end, I think the athlete is winning because the NIL deal is going up. Because I just checked the top recruiting classes, they adjust the NIL contract according to the athlete that they're bringing in. You understand what I'm saying? So my take is, yeah, I think it's good for the athlete at this particular point.
Sweet. I think what I'm going to say on it is I think it's good for the athletes because a lot of the colleges have built the brand off of their players' backs. And a lot of them don't get the notoriety that they're supposed to get with it. So that part I get. The downfall I play with it is that you lose loyalty. And there's something good about loyalty that's under the rug, that's underlying, that people tend to forget about. And that's a big thing. So that's my take on it. Everything else that y'all said is facts. It's absolutely fact.
I got one question, bro. You said that, Thomas. So, but the school have loyalty to the athlete. That's what I'm just saying. They may have loyalty to the university, but do the university have loyalty to them? If they get in trouble, if something happens, it's swept under the rug, they're going to kick you off the team. So I don't think they got too much loyalty, in my opinion, to the athlete at the same time.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm like this, guys. I believe in what Poole and Mike C said about, it's good for the athlete. And then I agree with Thomas as well. It's like, where's the loyalty amongst a player once you sign with a team? You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting as a coach for you to be there 4 years or at least a couple of years so I can get the max out of you. But then also, I think who also suffers in this is as a recruit coming out of high school.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I sit and choose a school that has got like per se like Deion Sanders? You done got 4 and 5 guys from the portal. I'm coming in, you know, I won't really have a shot. I don't think, it would be hard for my mindset to think I got a shot to get some playing time. And then what about my NIL deal? Because I don't know. I just like the fact of how a program can be built off the young guys coming in and coming up. But it's good. The portal is good, but I think they got to put some type governor on it. That's just my only thing with it. What you think about it, Rob?
Right. In my opinion, the portal is like a double-edged sword. In one sense, it's good because you have players who are going to spend their careers on the bench, and sometimes it's not warranted. It's coaches' favorites, it's recruiting politics. There's a lot of things that come into play there. And so I think the player should have a vehicle to leave without being punished, because coaches leave without being punished. Why shouldn't the player? Why are we going to hold a quote unquote child to a higher standard than we hold an adult to? And I don't think that's particularly fair. Now, on the flip side, I think we're doing the kids a disservice because we're not teaching young men fight. When you get a fight in your face, what do? I'm just going to leave. But what they don't understand is you're going to have to fight at the next school, and you're going to leave again, and you're going to be a career transfer guy. So at some point, man, you need to fight it out. You need to stick to your guns and just decide, you know what? I'm better than that guy, and I'm going to beat him out. Now, a third thing is that from a coaching standpoint, if I'm a coach and I make $100,000 a year, let's say I make $200,000 a year, the back coach, and I have a player that makes 1.7 and it goes to his head, how am I then able to control this guy and coach him? And he makes 10 times what I make, and he doesn't care if he leaves or goes because the next team's going to pick him up and give him the money. So now you're creating this demon that's uncoachable. So and not every transfer portal kid is going to be like that. There's extenuating circumstances and examples of all ends, but to me, it's just a double-edged sword, and I don't know the answer.
Hey, I totally agree. One caveat, I mean, to Mike and Rob, and Mike said something earlier that I alluded to. Back to high school recruiting. I mean, back in the days, I mean, that's all they had. And you looked at high school recruiting, and different, high school recruits, National Signing Day. These guys looking to go different places, because, that's where they wanted to play. Their heart was there. Or, Nick Saban or somebody came out to recruit them. Now, like Rod say, I mean, these guys looking at, what they can make. I mean, and it's hard to coach that. I mean, if I'm making $2 million, I'm worth $2 million, I'm getting a new Mercedes or whatever, Rod trying to coach me and he's making $100,000. I mean, come on, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's just my take.
But you know what? I'm gonna say some guys, and a lot of it specialty positions. Yes, there is a need, but I noticed in that portal, man, there are a lot of quarterbacks that are leaving where they have been for some time, showing loyalty or transferred in from a JUCO. They're leaving, man. I said Cal McCord, Will Rogers leaving. The star runner
DJ leaving. He left Clemson. He went to Oregon State. Now he's leaving Oregon State, trying to go somewhere else.
So there are a lot of quarterbacks in that portal, man. And I would say this, and I digress. Follow the money, fellas. Follow the money. Who's going to give them the most money? Who got the friends with the car dealership that's going to increase that NIL deal? Follow the money. And the talent, most of the talent is going to follow the money. But I totally agree with what you said, brother, with what your brother said about how they I mean, it's not showing the loyalty. It's if you're not built like that, it's a certain situation. But some athletes, man, they're gonna get caught up in the transfer portal, and it's not gonna be all what they want it to be. For real.
That's
Yeah, that fellas, you guys hit on some really good points. And I think it's good for both. I've always said this. I think that college players should be able to get paid. I mean, especially when they're using your image, they're using your name, your likeness. and they profiting off of it. Why can't you? But I always felt like if they were going to do something like that, that maybe they should put something in like a trust fund and let those guys benefit after their college career is over. That's the way I felt about something like that. What you guys think about that?
It's a good idea. It's basically you're investing in yourself, basically. So it's like a self-investment.
But I would say this right here, man. Jeff, I would say this right here, man. I mean, it sounds good on the surface, but at the same time, it's you a parent, I'm a parent, and I let a coach come into my living room and sell me on having my kid there, right? Now you're looking at more finances that they supposed to be saving for their future. You understand what I'm saying? They get hurt. Of course, they have insurance. So my only problem with that is divesting. Who do you have controlling this money? You know, is it going to get it so they walk across the stage when they graduate? You know, did they get hurt? Is it speculations on it? Do they have to play 4 years? Do you get half of it? You're going to play 2 years? What happens if you transfer out? So that is good on the surface, but it would be stipulations to me. I'm looking ahead about it. There would be stipulations that would either go back to law to make them committed to be there. If you stay the 4 full years, then you get that trust that we've been putting in this account for you. Other than that, then it's got to go back though with alumni. The alumni is taking care of the NIL deals and et cetera. So yeah, that trust sound good, but you know, we still putting a lot of the athletes' money into someone else's hands. And what happens to that money? Is it making interest for all these years? You know, we don't want another story like big man from Tennessee. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Sandra, you know what I'm talking about, the football move where Big Boy just getting his money back.
Yeah. Blindside.
There you go. So we don't. That would be my only stipulation of that, Jeff. You know, it's a good point. I agree. It needs to be something in place, but you know, thinking further ahead, no, you know, somebody got to be in control of that.
Definitely. It was just a thought, fellas. You guys had some really good takes on that. Really good takes. Anybody else want to add anything before we move on to our next topic?
Well, I'm just going to be real brief about it. But like Mike C said, with that transfer portal, you know, it's the skill positions. I mean, you know, you don't hear too much about offensive linemen and stuff like that. It's either quarterback, running back, wide receivers for the most part. And you think about it on the quarterback side of it. I mean, you had Jaden Daniels that left Arizona State, went to LSU. You had Bo Nix that left Auburn, went to Oregon. You had Michael Penix that brother got hurt several times. He left, I think it was Indiana, and he ended up going to Washington. You know, but you know, that's just my take on it, man. But like you said, there's a lot of quarterbacks in there. And like Rod said, I mean, a lot of them just trying to, you know, go to different places where they can actually get their play.
Or don't know where they're going. KJ Jefferson is undecided. I was shocked to hear Will Rogers from Mississippi State is leaving and going to Washington, to the Huskies. You know, Grayson McDaniels, Jordan McLeod. So there are a lot of cats in there, especially quarterbacks, man, that's trying to get to from where they're at to historic programs. Texas A&M quarterback, Max Johnson, the junior, he going to North Carolina. So there, you know, you follow the money, you follow they want. It's like chess. The transfer portal has created a huge chess game that sometimes is out of control. These athletes are trying to put themselves in a position where they can win, be seen, market themselves, and have a chance at the NFL or the next level, in my opinion.
And I think your opinion is totally valid. And why I say that is you got Michigan right now who's in the CFP, and they make a living handing that ball off to Blake Corum. If you're that quarterback and you're like, man, we're winning, but I can really throw the ball, but nobody gets a chance to see that.
That's right.
Okay, let's say Penix leaves Washington, now it's wide open. Well, I'm gonna go to they're gonna display my talents. I get to throw it 30 times a game. It's not that Michigan's bad or we can't win here. I just don't want to spend 30 plays handing off to Corum where I could be throwing the ball and showcasing my skill set.
That's right.
And that's a piece of it.
That's right. It's parity, though. It's parity. That's what I was looking for earlier, parity. Think about this. I don't mean to jump topic. I know we're going to the next subject, but the skill positions, who would have thought James Cook would have ran for 179 yards in the quarter quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, would not have to throw the ball but 7 times. You understand what I'm saying? So it's parity. Where they, like you say, brother, where there is a need for it, that is exactly what they're doing. I totally agree with you on that point. Yeah.
And there's one more thing I'm gonna throw out there, and this is gonna be total 180. So let's think about this NIL from a coach's standpoint. So when I was a coach, social media was not a big thing yet. And so I got out in 11. And so now, instead of after practice, when you got to recruit high schools, you now have to recruit high schools, junior colleges, the portal, and your own team. And the internet, because if these high school kids are posted and you're not responding, they think you don't like them or don't want them, or they'll go to the coach to response. So at what point as a coach, at what point do you have a personal life to spend time with your family? Dude, it's terrible. We're creating a monster for coaches. And I know coaches are paid well, it's a game and there's a lot of things, but there's a sacrifice to be made. And the more we open up this transfer portal, the more we open up junior college transfers, and you still have the high schools, and now you have to spend time recruiting your own team. Man, there's not enough time in the day to do all that and playbook stuff and other things you need to do.
But see, everybody's getting paid. Follow the money one more time, man. Because with great power comes great responsibility, and with the responsibility is now as a coach, you got to have a team. You got to have a social media team. You got to have recruiting. You got to divide it out in parts, man. That would be my response to that, brother. You know, it's team. Like you said, it's a nightmare, but now instead of being that jack, he got to divide the work out, man.
Yeah, you got to delegate. Too. Divide it out and delegate. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a lot for one guy. So it's gonna take a team.
No
All
doubt.
right, fellas. You got anything you want to add to that, Mr. Boykin?
No, I'm good. Everybody's good. I'm good.
All right, fellas. Really good takes on that. I really enjoyed listening to you fellas talk about that. Well, let's move to our next topic. It's college football playoffs.
Yes, sir.
College football playoffs. You got Georgia, Florida State, got Alabama, Michigan. Fellas, as we look at this, it's almost amongst us. It's coming up. We getting there. We working our way there. Fellas, what's your take on these 4 teams?
Well, I'll tell you like this, and I did something like my brother showed me. Take all the fandom out of this. Just look at straight college football, pound for pound, player for player, team strengths and team weaknesses. My opinion is this, and it's just my opinion. If you look at both sides of the ball and how each team is playing, this national championship is tailor-made for Michigan to win it all. It's tailor-made for Michigan to win this game, win it outright, because of the balance on both sides of the ball. Don't get me wrong, Washington is completely loaded on offense, but can they stop somebody on defense? It's been shown they give up a lot of points. Texas, another one, they have moments where they give up a lot of points. The only team that's really frightening on both sides of the ball is who Michigan has to play is Alabama, because they're peaking at the right time. Now, are they legitimately in?
Mike, you go ahead and go.
Nah. I'm gonna let all y'all go. I want to hear this. I want to hear what you got to say.
Sorry, let me correct myself, fellas. I said Florida State, but I meant Washington.
Okay. Yeah, right. We got you, bro. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
No, go, Corey. Go ahead. Y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all go a minute.
Well, I guess I'm a little biased, because I'm a Roll Tide guy. and I see us winning it all. That just me. But I would say this here. Me and Thomas have talked about it, but SEC football, I think, is one of the toughest conferences in college football. And that's just my opinion. But with that being said, I think Alabama did peak at the right time. I think they deserve to be there. They beat Georgia. They won the SEC championship. And, everybody was like, well, Georgia ain't lost but one game. But they lost the game that mattered. that counted most was the SEC championship. Michigan does have a great team, quarterback and running back. I mean, great. You know, I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's good. Texas and Washington playing against each other. I think if Michael Penix and them play the way they've been playing, I think the championship could be, you know, Washington against Alabama. That's just my take on it.
Ooh.
I digress.
Anybody else want to go before I say something, man? But
Yeah. So I'm gonna put my 2 cents in.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, big
I know
dog.
you got something really gonna knock us over the head with it. But first of all, I don't believe Alabama belongs in the playoffs. I believe Alabama is good enough to win the whole thing. However, in the name of fairness, I got a conference champ undefeated Michigan, a conference champ undefeated Washington, a conference champ undefeated Florida State. But that should have been the first 3 teams in. And that 4th spot, you took it the two conference champions with 1 loss. One was Texas and one was Bama. Well, they played head to head. Texas won. So Texas should be in, Bama should be out. To me, you can't have a Power 5 team that goes undefeated and doesn't get a sniff at a national championship. Or else, why am I playing football in the Power 5? I'm irrelevant.
Right.
So number one, that's a problem. But however, I'm gonna say this. I was told this. I don't know if this is a fact. I was told this, that all the Power 5 conferences wanted to move to 12 teams this year, and the one conference that didn't was the ACC, and it bit them, and it bit them. But let's think about this. I don't agree that Michigan's going to win it all. I just don't think they have enough one-play scoring ability, enough big play potential. I just don't think they have it. But this is the kicker, though. Let's get out of the 4. Florida State, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Missouri are all good enough to win a national championship. So this would have been the year for a 12-game playoff because there's a lot of teams that are viable. Georgia's good enough to win it all. Ohio State's good enough to win it all. But so is Bama. And so to me, they messed up by keeping it at 4, not going to 12, and not letting the legitimate teams in. And so now we have a hodgepodge of mess on our hands.
I agree with Rob. I'm gonna say one thing real quick, gentlemen. I'm gonna let it go. The only reason I don't think Florida State should have been that, and this is just me again, because I think the strength of schedule or the ACC conference itself is not a strong conference. I digress.
Okay, let me jump in for Jeff and the host, Mike Jones and Mr. Boykin. Let me just say my little part. Now, I'm going to say this right here, fellas. And I quote Shannon Sharp, the Alabama Invitational is going on at this particular point in time. Right now, what are we doing, fellas? Are we giving our opinion with our head or are we giving our opinion with our heart? Because our head and our spirit is, we from this. Like me, I'm SEC all the way, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. So am I saying my head and my heart? Now, let me ask y'all a question, fellas. What conference is Texas in? Right now. Don't know where they're going. What conference is Texas?
Big 12.
Big 12, okay. What conference would Texas be joining next year in 2024?
SEC.
Okay. So with that being said, and I'm going to digress, you basically got 2 SEC teams in the national championship. One of them going to come out. That's all I would say. That's all I'm gonna say right there. I digress.
I know where you're going there, but I'm gonna rebuttal you, Mike. See, if you're gonna go there, then you got 2 Big Ten. Then you got 2 Big Ten teams in there. Because Washington is going to the Big Ten next year.
Exactly. So we got the Big Ten against the SEC, and look, it's all 4. All 4 basically. Not by conference. So that's why I asked fellas, are we saying who's gonna win with our head? Because all your life, boy, we know you Ohio State. That's your conference. Your brother, you know what I'm saying, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm from Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Mike Jones, yep, we from different places. So when I say head or heart, are we choosing who gonna win it? And that's why I say I can't choose. I just had to analyze and say, well, like you said, I'm glad you told me 2 Big Ten, but it's 2 Big Ten, 2 SECs. One from each conference is gonna be in that championship. Who's gonna win it? We won't know. But we know the historic programs because of who that guy is sitting in at the number 4 spot. That's why he got in. Not the fact that Florida State played a bad game, which they should have been in. And I hate their quarterback got hurt because the committee would be insane, would have been insane. So I'm gonna say that, like I said, my thing was is 2 SEC teams in there. So I'm not saying who's gonna win. It's gonna be a great game. And I can't help but to think about what your brother just said, Borgen, about Blake Corum running that ball. That might be a factor for that championship game, but who's gonna stop that? You understand what I'm saying? Because, and like Corey P said, I agree too. I've been saying this for the longest. I think the SEC is the best conference in college sports. So I don't know, bro. Blake Corum may get off, but I don't know. I'm waiting to see that, bro. I'm waiting to see that. I'm waiting to see that. And I'm out. I'm sorry. Yeah, fellas.
It's ironic that we got 3 SEC guys in here and 3 Big Ten guys in here. That's crazy.
Well, there's something I gotta refute a little piece to that. Number one, the fact that Alabama got in, they don't belong. Now, from an ability standpoint, they absolutely belong. From a fairness of what you accomplished this year, I don't know how you leave Florida State out as an undefeated conference champion. And so check this out. You said they lost their quarterback, right? But Texas lost their top receiver, didn't it? And so he's gone. So they didn't hold it against Texas. Why are you holding it against Florida State? I'm going to tell you why. It's because ESPN owns the SEC network, and they need that money to come in, so they're going to push Bama.
Yes, sir.
And there you have it.
I agree.
But Bama does not belong in the terms of talent. They do. In the terms of fairness, they do not. If they were to beat Texas head to head, I would say they do. But because Texas beat them, Texas should have got that 4th spot Florida State should be in, and we should not have an SEC team in this playoff. But they're not going to let that happen.
Let me ask you guys this, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't feel like Bama belonged in there. I thought Florida State should have been in there. But let's look at it this angle with the time we got left. Who do you guys predict is going to win it all? And I'm going to tell you right now who I predict. I think Alabama is going to pull it off.
How about this, guys? I'm gonna be the lone wolf in this. 3 of those teams kind of play similar. Michigan, Alabama, they definitely have a similar offensive and defensive style. Texas, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean? At least they looked that way when I saw them against Alabama that first game. But I'm gonna I'm gonna go offense in this, man. I'm choosing Washington to sit and come up out of there. And Mike, see, this is not with my heart. This is not with this is just the eye test, man. If Michael Penix is on and that offense is clicking, I really want to see an offense. I want to see somebody different win this thing, man. I'm tired of Alabama winning it, Corey. I'm tired of seeing it. Michigan, I don't have a problem with Michigan winning it, man, because they hadn't won it in a mighty long time. Texas, I could care less. And, I don't care too much for Texas. Now, that is with my heart right there. So I'm going Washington.
Hey, I'm going to get out the way real fast. I'm going to say this right here. And you're right. You're right, Mike Jones. If Penix get off, it will be a problem. But pressure busts a pipe. And that defense win games, man. So I'm gonna go Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
So I'm hearing 3 of us saying Alabama.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
I'm still sticking by what I said as far as taking fandom out the game and playing straight up football, man to man, position for position. This thing is tailor made for Michigan to win it all.
Mr. Rob Boykin.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. And I've got one last thing to say about Bama. And this is crazy what I'm about to say. So I can remember that Bama game when they had the ball 4th and goal from the 21 to throw the Hail Mary to beat Auburn, who turned around and got blasted by New Mexico State. And that just tells you how crazy college football is. Yep. But as much of a Big Ten fan as I am, that national championship game is going to be Texas and Alabama, and Bama's going to beat Texas on the second go around. Because
Ooh.
Bama had bad quarterback play the first time they played. Now they have the quarterback situation figured out. Bama's a different team than Texas played earlier on. They're a lot better.
Mm.
I
Mr.
love
Mike
it, Rod. I
Jones.
love
Who you picking?
I'm
gonna put you on the spot.
I'm still rolling with Washington.
Washington? All right,
Yeah.
you sticking with it. That's your story, and you sticking with it, huh?
I'm sticking with it, man. Hey, that's how I make the big bucks. That's how I make the
Right,
big
all
bucks
right.
right there.
All right, fellas, we shall see. Well, fellas, we talked about it. Until the next time, it's been 234 Sports Talk. You can catch us right here on YouTube. You can catch us on TikTok. You can catch us on X. You can catch us on Instagram. All right, fellas, till the next time, we are out of here.
Thanks for
Peace,
the
brothers.
invite, brother. Thanks for the
Thank
invite.
you.
One and
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We have us on.
All right,
Yes,
peace,
sir.
fellas.
Peace, man.
Peace.